After a great performance against Manchester City last week, Chelsea take on another one of the Premier League top dogs, this time versus Liverpool in the final of the EFL Cup at the infamous Wembley Stadium. Lads, lasses and the rest of the masses, welcome to the lead-in. Let's set the scene here. It's Liverpool versus Chelsea once again, with the last time these two sides being a rather embarrassing 4-1 thrashing to the Reds. At home at Anfield they had all the advantages going for them, but coming to London for a cup final puts the cards back in Chelsea's favour. This is the third time in a short period of time that we've faced Liverpool in a cup final, with Chelsea arguably the better sides in the previous two, and probably should have won if Mason Mount didn't fumble multiple chances in truth. Liverpool's form hasn't changed at all since the last fixture against us. They are still top of the league, absolutely flying, and just battered Luton Town 4-1, Brentford 4-1 and Burnley 3-1. In theory, they are much the better side and should walk all over us. Don't let the media twist it, we are absolutely the underdogs in this match, and Liverpool will be looking to stamp their authority over us once again. So let's take a brief look at how their team could line up for this one. Firstly, let's talk absentees. This has been a big talking point in the lead up to the game, the supposed large amount of injured players that Liverpool have that is going to majorly impact the side. Well, on that list are Joel Matip, Ben Doak, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Stefan Bajcetic, Diogo Jota, Alisson Becker, Thiago Alcantara and Curtis Jones. Mo Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai and Darwin Núñez are all to be assessed before the game, which I believe is just PR. I expect all three of those to feature in this game if I'm being honest. I'll be putting Jurgen Klopp's side into Liverpool's standard 4-3-3 formation, which may change depending on those players' fitness ahead of kickoff. First up in goal though is going to be the Irish-born substitute keeper, Caoimhin Kelleher. Alisson is injured, but the youngster usually plays in the cup for them anyway. He did against us in the last EFL Cup final too, so nothing too surprising here. The defence is going to be changed slightly with Trent injured, so starting on the right of the four will be impressive youngster Conor Bradley. The two centre-backs won't change from their usual setup. Ibrahima Konate starts on the right alongside Virgil van Dijk on the left. Finally, finishing the defence off is Andy Robertson, who'll be looking to get up and down as always. Moving into the midfield, we'll start with the right hand side where I expect Dominic Szoboszlai to play despite injury concerns. In the centre I'll be putting in Alexis McAllister, who so often plays this slightly deeper role for the Reds. Finally, on the left I'll be putting in Dutchman Ryan Gravenberch. The three up top I think are going to be much stronger than most are predicting. I'm seeing people putting Harvey Elliott in one of these roles, which I think is kinda ridiculous. Let's start on the right where Mo Salah is 100% starting. This is a cup final. Even if he was slightly injured or being assessed, I doubt they'd leave him out of the 11. On the left I'm going to be putting in Luis Diaz as is normal. Finally, finishing off the team in the centre, I'm going to be putting in Cody Gakpo. Now Darwin Núñez is one of those players that are being looked at before the game, and I do think that at least one of them won't start, and considering Cody Gakpo is one goal away from being the top scorer in this competition, they'd allowed him to play instead. As I said, just a brief overview of what I expect their team to look like. I'm not going to go into too much detail as we've played them so recently, but I'll touch on a few things a little bit later. Instead, let's quickly look at how Chelsea could line up. We still have a lot of injuries, in fact the same amount as Liverpool do, so I'm not sure why theirs have been such a big topic of conversation in the lead up to this game. So this won't be a full strength Chelsea side as usual, but as always I'll show what I expect from Pochettino, then give my own personal lineup afterwards. Despite conceding late on versus City, I think the 4-2-3-1/4-4-2 system would work well versus another high pressing team like Liverpool, and I expect Poch to continue to use this system against them. Starting with the keeper, I'm going to be sticking with Georgi Petrovic, who will be keeping his place despite Robert Sanchez returning from injury. I think Georgie is the smart choice if the game does eventually go to penalties, as we've seen he's very capable at winning us games in shootouts in the past. The back four is going to be the exact same four that started versus City in my opinion. We've had an entire week of rest, so I don't expect anyone to be rotated out due to fitness, so Malo Gusto starts on the right after his incredible performance last time out. Likewise, the Bastion partnership of Axel Disasi and Levi Colwill start at right and left centre-back respectively. Even though Thiago Silva might be fit again to play, I wouldn't risk his fitness at this age, and personally I just think we play better without him in truth. Finally, over on the left remains captain Ben Chilwell, who will have to do much better up against Conor Bradley than he did last time. Moving into the midfield, we'll start with the right mid, and I would expect Cole Palmer to play here once again. He is so important to our team in terms of our creativity, and playing him anywhere else I think would be a waste of his talents. In the centre will remain our core of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, and over on the left I'm going to be sticking with Raheem Sterling after his goal last weekend. Finally, up top will be Conor Gallagher in this hybrid striker slash centre mid role that he's been occupying in recent times. I think his energy is going to be vital for us in this one. And next to him, I'll be putting in Nicholas Jackson once more. His link-up play and ability to hold the ball will be crucial to getting us playing on the counter as always. This is what I am expecting, but what would I personally change? Well, if I'm being honest, I think this is our strongest team at the moment, and I wouldn't change much of anything. I suppose Nkunku could come in to replace Sterling, with Jackson moving into the left wing spot. That could make us more solid defensively, because I do worry that that left-hand side of Chilwell and Sterling may get overrun like they did last time. Against City, they weren't really tested as much, as the sky blue outfit went down the right-hand side more often than not with Doku, but Liverpool's strength is down our left-hand side, so maybe we can reinforce there. Apart from that, I think this is our best 11. Again, I'd like to see another substitute appearance for Cesare Casadei. I'm not sure if he's cup tied for this competition or not. If someone knows, let me know. His height late on in the game could be vital if we need a goal, and he has a knack for popping up in the box and getting goals from set pieces or balls into the area. I do hope that Chalobah gets some more minutes too, but hopefully not too early this time. So those are my lineups, and I'd like to hear from you guys too. So for today's question of the day, answer me this. If we are to win this game, how do you think it happens? Let me know in the comments below, with QOTD at the start as always, and I'll heart the ones I like. Now, I'm not going to talk too in depth about tactics here like I would usually do, as we faced Liverpool so recently. If you want more insight on that, then I suggest watching this video from that last fixture, link is in the description. I'm going to as ever review our reverse fixture against Liverpool and try to offer my advice on what we did well in that game and what we could do differently. Firstly, I do want to point out that despite the 4-1 scoreline and how poor we played at times, I think that we were really unlucky in that reverse fixture. 2 clear penalties not given that would have drastically changed things, a foul in the build-up for one of Liverpool's goal, again not being given, a mix and match defence throughout the game due to injury, and in general being up against it away from home. We actually could have still gotten something from this game if the refs weren't terrible at their jobs, or we were on the right side of the slim margins. The second half was much better and showed things that we were lacking in the first half that I believe we need to bring into the final. Desire to win the ball, play without fear and create chances, we saw more unity at times, and overall just weren't as terrible defensively. We'll have to improve in those areas if we want to get a result here, and to use a boxing term, we cannot let this game go to the judges, as it were. We need to try and win this game and not let it be dictated by refereeing decisions once again. We know the fairy tale story with Liverpool and Klopp that they are trying to tell. We won't be favoured in any decision on Sunday and need to be dream crushers and not let that happen. Defensively, I think we should be better. We can afford to play the high line with Thiago Silva not in the lineup and not be as susceptible to balls in behind like we were in the previous game. In general, I think this defence is more balanced and will fare much better, especially if we are able to play this 4-4-2 and double up on the Liverpool wide men like we did versus City. Likewise, I think that we now know how to play against the high line ourselves, showing that we are capable of counter-attacking via long balls in behind against City, and are able to do the same thing here versus Liverpool, as they too rely on the recovery pace of Virgil van Dijk and Konate, and commit many men forward on the attack. I feel as if we'll see a similar game to the City game here in truth, another solid defensive performance from Chelsea, but we have to take our chances this time. We cannot afford to let Liverpool stay in the game, we need to punish them if they present us with opportunities. This is a massive game. A win here would see us automatically qualify for Europe next season, which considering our league form is not likely obtainable any other way. This is by far our most important game of the season, the only game that matters. We should be far more motivated to win this game than Liverpool are, and need to play like it. Fight for every ball, show passion, play for the badge, and leave the pitch knowing that we've given everything and more. And I think considering some of the things we've seen and heard from Chelsea players and the manager this week, they are ready to do that. This is a chance for Pochettino to finally win something in England, and I personally hope for our sake that he is able to do that. For a score prediction, I am backing my team. I'm going to be predicting a Chelsea win this time, no jinxes needed. I think this will be a close game, so I'm going to say Chelsea take this 2-1, a goal coming in extra time. I think we'll see Sterling bag another goal, with Gallagher scoring the winner late on. For the Reds, I reckon Virgil van Dijk will score from a set piece, heading in for the equaliser. We'll have to wait until the game to see if any of my predictions are correct, and as always I'll be live streaming after the game to give my first reactions, but if you can't wait until then, maybe watch one of these 2 videos on screen in the meantime. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on you Blues!